And I'm back. All right, Manchild Talk number 4. I hope you guys enjoyed my fight talk with my girlfriend. Um, Not gonna talk too much about my girlfriend. I'm not sure how she feels about being on my podcast. She says it's cool, but I don't want to assume anything, so she could be the mystery girl. All right. So I was trying the fight talk just for the Max Holloway and Brian Ortega fight. Hope you guys like that. I'm gonna talk through UFC 231 on this podcast a little bit more. I just want to try out, I guess, what Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub does, and just talking through the fight. If you guys have the fight on and then just have my talk through on, I'll just be talking as I'm watching the fight. So that's how the fight talk is gonna be set up, just like the MMA podcast or like a fight companion. You just put the fight on, or just have me in the background, or even the fight companion in the background. You just hear me or everybody else talk about the fight. I'm obviously not as entertaining as Joe Rogan or Brendan Schaub, so to each his own. Do your thing, man. All right. So on my channel, if you guys look on the right on the featured channels, you'll see 2 channels. I have 10th Planet Walnut Creek and Taikai Jiu-Jitsu on there. So those are the 2 gyms that I mainly belong to. I don't belong to 10th Planet Walnut Creek anymore, but I plan on going back home pretty soon and talk to Alex about perhaps training there for a little bit when I'm back in town. Because I'm going to be back for a couple weeks there, and I want to see everybody. I miss everybody. Just a group of awesome guys there. And Taikai is where I'm training currently. So I wanted to feature them, and have you guys check out some of the people there. Fucking monsters at Taikai. Lot of black belts, brown belts, purple, blue that murder me on a daily basis. Anyway, so check out the featured channels. I did subscribe to a couple channels on there, if you guys can see that. Some of the best podcasts out there. Shout out to Joey, your mom's podcast, all that stuff. Check them out if you guys can see it. All right. So Monday morning, podcasting in the Monday morning. All right. So I might have mentioned it before, guys, but I am currently unemployed. I am trying to go to law school next year. So right now, November LSAT scores are out. I actually took November LSAT. Scores weren't as good as my September one. So I actually took 3 LSATs. I took the June 2018, September 2018, and November 2018. I got a really good score on September 2018, and I felt like I could have done better, and I got a little greedy, and I decided to take the November one. And right when I took the November one, I knew I fucked up. I knew I should have canceled, but again, being greedy, I decided to wait a little bit to see what the score was before, canceling. And I got my November score Saturday, the 8th is the Saturday, UFC 231 date. And, kind of devastated me. I wasted, 2 months? Because the September score came out in October, and my application went complete when the September score came out. But what law schools do is that if you're taking another LSAT, they don't actually look at your application or, interview request or anything like that until the next LSAT comes out. So I actually was taking a risk by doing the November test because I felt like I could have done better, and 1 or 2 points increase on my LSAT would have, bumped me up to like 40% chance of getting to all these elite fucking law schools. And I took a little bit of a chance, and it didn't pay out. Life lesson learned. Don't be greedy. If you do well, trust yourself and don't be greedy. It's all right though. I was pretty depressed on Saturday, pretty upset. But at the end of the day, I took my shot. I didn't make it, but it's fine. It's not gonna devastate me. It's not gonna kill me. I still got a great score in September. I'm really glad I got a chance to take it in September and get a good score and have a pretty good application. So all I'm doing right now, guys, I'm unemployed and I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get a job in finance or accounting or sports or food even. I'm trying to do some stuff that are out of my comfort zone. I don't really want to go too much detail into my path to law school, because it's such a long story. I could probably do like an hour podcast just talking about it, and obviously this channel is pretty brand new, so I don't want to bore you guys into details about my life and how I came about being unemployed at my age, training so much and waiting for law school results. If you guys are interested, definitely let me know in the comment section. Definitely message me on Instagram, and I could definitely do a podcast about it. I think I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do think it's a pretty interesting story of how I got here. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm unemployed right now. I have a lot of time. That's why I'm doing a lot of podcasts right now. I have a lot of time, and I'm training a lot. I'm actually training 2-3 times a day, every day so far, unless I feel like absolute shit, which I do most of the day. And then I train maybe once a day. And minimum, I try to stay training once a day. So I'll do jiu-jitsu at noon, and at night, I'll either go to jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. Because like I said, I eventually want to compete in MMA. And I see all these crazy fights and injuries and people, just fighters struggling, and it only makes me want to do it more. I don't know what it is. I love challenging myself, and I love having something to work towards for, having a goal, and having that amateur MMA fight would be a dream. That working towards that would be amazing. Even without having a goal right now, I don't really have a fight or any competition coming up, but it's pushing me, just wanting to get better. It's just making my training so much more fun, it just gives me a purpose. Anyway, going into fight review of UFC 231, what I'm sure everybody who's listening to this, shout out to you guys, not a lot of you. I think my first one has like 15, 16 views, and my competition videos have 15, 16 views. So shout out to 15, 16 of you guys listening to me, watching my competition videos. So Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega. How crazy was that fight? Oh my God. You guys can hear me going absolutely insane during the fight. I honestly thought it was gonna end in second or third round as I was watching the fight, because Brian was getting tagged, and they were going back and forth. Max was getting tagged too. But I looked at the fight again, and it looks like Max looks very comfortable, and Max looks really good. And I know I said Max looks sucked in, but obviously it didn't bother him. It doesn't affect his performance. And I really have no doubts anymore about Max's skills. And going into this fight, I really thought Brian was going to get the job done and finish him via submission. Just by looking at Max Holloway's fight with, wow, I'm blanking on the name. when he got subbed by mounted triangle to the armbar. I just felt like Brian, it being his specialty, I felt like that was going to happen, but Brian really had trouble taking him down throughout the whole fight. Maybe he had 2 takedowns, maybe 1, right? It was crazy. Max is doing amazing blocking the takedowns and tagging him with those 1-2s. And by the end of the fight, by the 4th round, just throwing 10 punch combination, it landing every single time, jerking Brian's head back every single punch. It was insane. It was an amazing fight. I have no doubts about Max being a champion and being one of the greatest ever at 145, next to Jose. And I really hope they do Conor versus Max again. I think Max is a completely different person, and I think Max has what it takes to finish Conor. And I that fight should happen really soon. And talking about Brian a little bit, little sidetrack here from the fight itself. I know I talk about fighters being young, taking fights and looking at videos of young fighters. There's a video of Brian Ortega as a 17-year-old who I think gets a mounted triangle, and then his opponent loses a mouthpiece. So with him mounted triangle on his opponent, picks up the mouthpiece, puts it on the opponent, and submits him. I'm gonna put the video up on the description, but it's around 8-minute mark. So definitely check it out. It's insane. How good his jiu-jitsu is and how comfortable he is on the mat. It's incredible to see, even at 17 years old. And I heard that he's also going to Texas and Thailand to be a main role at a film after this fight. Incredible. That's crazy. Just a side, little factoid there if you guys didn't know. Moving on to Valentina and Joanna champions fight. Wow. Crazy fight there too. I thought Valentina was gonna take Joanna out with a submission maybe, but they wanted to stand and bang. It was amazing. It was a great fight. I'm glad they did it. I hope they do it again. I personally thought Joanna did really well, but I hope they do it again. It was a great fight. They're pretty evenly matched. So I know Dana said he wants Joanna to not be in that weight class, but run it back. Definitely run it back. And sidetrack again, there's a video of Joanna shooting a shot with Brett Okomoto, calling him handsome, and it's adorable. I fucking love Joanna. And going back to the whole deal with fighters being young in their fights, there's a video of 17-year-old Valentina hitting a goddamn Ezekiel choke, no gi, on an opponent and finishing the fight. I'm sure those of you guys who've tried to hit it, no gi, it's fucking hard, man. If the opponent knows anything about Ezekiel or anything about submissions, it's really fucking hard to hit. Because all you have to do as a guy getting hit is just shove your hand in between their forearms and then just get it out of there. It's really easy to get it out of there. But I've never had it locked up from someone really amazing. Obviously, it works. But I feel like it's really hard to hit if the other person knows what they're doing. But obviously, Valentina hit that. And it's incredible to see no-gi. And I'm going to post a video of Valentina and Joanna's 3 professional fights. I know I talked about it on the last podcast. But their kickboxing fights are pretty cool to see. Back in the day, back from 2006, I believe. The third fight I think is in Korea, which is crazy. Because I see the banner in the back and show company is a Korean telecommunications company back in the day. So I'm going to post that. Check it out. It gives a little bit of background of their history, and I hope they run it back again. And talking about crazy fights, oh my God, Gunnar Nelson versus Alex Oliveira. Gunnar coming back, prime Gunnar. Wow. That elbow to the rear naked choke sequence was amazing. Wow, Gunnar at full force it's really scary, and he looks fucking thick as hell too. His last fight I feel like was a fluke with all those goddamn eye pokes. I really thought they should have done something with the commission there. Those eye pokes were bullshit. Ponzinibbio just come on, man. He's cheating. Obviously, he's just poking him in the eye over and over again. Obviously, it's gonna affect Gunnar's performance, and he gets dropped from that. So why not run it back? Why not go no contest? And Ponzinibbio is doing fucking amazing right now too. After that, I don't know, but I'm really glad Gunnar's back. That was a dominant performance over Alex, who's no joke. That was amazing to see, and I think one of the meme I saw was after the Gunnar fight, you gotta think MMA is a human cockfighting with all that blood. It was amazing. UFC 231 was one of the best cards I've seen in a long time, man. Even I saw it. I saw even prelims starting from because I'm on Easter time right now, so I think the prelims started at 6 Eastern time, and I started watching it since then. And I watched the whole goddamn deal. Ended at fucking midnight or something, 1 o'clock, and I thought every single fight was gonna end in a knockout. I think most of them went to decision, and it was fucking crazy to see 3 fights, 15 minutes of people just going to town on each other. It was incredible to see. I thought the whole fight was amazing. Whole fight card was amazing. I hope UFC keeps on putting fights like that. Some of the fights that I've seen recently have been kind of disappointing, you know. But I was glad I was able to witness all those fights. As far as MMA topicals go, moving on from UFC 231, amazing card. I understand that Jose versus Swanson II is happening. I'm so excited to watch that with Jose, kind of going downhill from his prime Jose self, and Swanson still going strong. And their first fight ended in 7 seconds with a flying knee from Jose. I'm gonna put up the link for YouTube, or on YouTube, of their fight. And Swanson's young here, man. I can't believe they haven't run it back since now, and I'm really excited to see this again. Next, moving on. This has literally nothing to do with MMA topical. It's just something I saw again on our MMA on Reddit. Leslie Smith's ear popping. Oh my God, that's one of my worst nightmares. So I haven't been practicing BJJ or wrestling for too long there, but I'm really prone to cauliflower ears. It gets really bad. When I was doing the Gracie, it was blowing up so bad that I needed to drain it on the day of competition. It was hurting so much. I thought it was gonna blow up. It was all red and puffy, and it was all filled with shit. And looking at Leslie Smith's ear just bursting. Oh my God. I think, this actually ties back because Jessica I fought in UFC 231. Crazy. And I'm not sure if you guys heard her post-fight interview about Joe Rogan staring at her ass, but if you guys can find that, I actually couldn't find the link for that, which is hilarious. But going back, her ear popping is literally my biggest nightmare. I have really bad cauliflower ear, and I hate wearing headgear because the only thing that really works is the plastic one, the really plastic one that really fucking sucks for the other person, and I hate doing that for other person because I'm a pressure passer, so I shoved my head in people's like stomachs and their hips and stuff, so I feel bad. I hate getting it done to me. I don't want to do it to other people, and you know, I enjoy the look of cauliflower ear. I just hate the feeling of it and not being able to put my head on one side because I'm afraid it's gonna literally pop at any given moment. Jesus Christ. Um, Also, not really MMA topical, a little bit of MMA history, I guess. There's a video of Anderson Silva versus Demian Maia where Anderson Silva is literally playing with Demian Maia. This might be back when Demian Maia thought he was a striker and didn't do the single leg takedown to the grappling match that he does every single fight so well. It's just Anderson Silva fucking around with Demian Maia and Demian Maia pulling guard every single time. It's pretty funny to watch. So I'm going to put up a link on my description too. So check it out, guys. It's pretty funny. And I think that pretty much sums it up with the combat stuff. Let me know, you guys, if, like I said before on the last podcast, if you guys want me to split the podcast into two. Because I think my podcast usually run about half an hour. And sometimes people don't want to listen for half an hour because I personally like longer podcasts like Joe Rogan's or Your Mom's House or, Brendan Schaub's or anything like that. I enjoy longer podcasts because when I would listen to podcasts, I'm usually like lifting or back when I was working, I would listen to it all day, working. Makes the 8-hour day go by really fast. So if I listen to like 2-3 hour podcast, I'm pretty much only 2 hours left. So I still like longer podcasts, but some people like shorter ones. Some people like longer ones. So let me know what you guys think about splitting the MMA podcast into two. Or MMA to food podcast, all that stuff. So moving on to food. Carrying on with the theme in Syracuse food. Let's talk about brunch in Syracuse. So I really, if I have to have an opinion about brunch, I don't like brunch, guys. I really don't like brunch. I think it's overpriced. I think it's usually way too sweet, way too carb focused, and it's just kind of dumb. Like, French toast is a dessert, guys. Waffle is a dessert. Pancakes is a dessert. I don't know what happened in American history that Americans thought it was a good idea to have syrup, sugar, all these carbs for breakfast. But somewhere along the way, Americans thought, hey, I'm going to have the sugariest fucking carbiest meal possible in the morning at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to make me feel good for the fucking day. Have you tried eating donuts at 10 o'clock in the morning? Like 6 donuts, not even like just one, because brunch, when you go to brunch, it's a heavy meal. Like it's like a stack of pancakes, stack of French toast, or like waffles or some bullshit like that, jam, bullshit like that, English muffin. Try having like 600, 700,000 worth of calories of sugar, and then try staying awake until like dinner or, early afternoon dinner. It fucking sucks. You feel like shit after a while. You feel hyper for like the next hour, and you don't feel good. But sorry for rambling and, ranting, but brunch in Syracuse is huge. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry for ranting about brunch, but brunch in Syracuse is huge. I know there's not really a lot of restaurants in Syracuse. You guys will notice if you guys live here or been here before. There's pretty much barbecue and brunch. That's two big things. Everywhere, every restaurant you see when you're driving around Syracuse, the busiest places, if that makes sense, busiest places with the most amount of cars will be barbecue and brunch. If you don't believe me, drive around Syracuse. You'll see pretty much all the cars parked outside barbecue places or brunch places. So that being said, let's talk about some brunch places in Syracuse. So classic brunch, one of the most famous brunch places in Syracuse, Stellas Diner. It's a classic, your run-of-the-mill classic diner. Their mascot is Betty Boop, if that's how you say it. But I'm not sure how they even got the license for that. Hopefully it's not illegal. Hopefully it's not gonna cause trouble for me to mention them. But it's that run-of-the-mill diner food. They do literally everything. They have like a 6-page diner menu. They serve everything from like French toast to pancakes to all the way to like cheesecakes, steak, sandwiches. They do everything. And that being said, guys, what I wonder is diner chefs. How do you learn how to make all these different types of cuisines? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, where did you learn how to make French toast? And then where did you learn how to make like Philly cheesesteak to like different meals? Like I don't know. Like they make so much different shit. Like, how do you memorize 5 pages worth of menus? I don't understand. For like front to back, 5 pages worth of menus. Like they make. These are bad examples, but like they make pancakes to like chicken fried steak to like Philly cheesesteak to all these different foods. I don't understand. How do you memorize all that? Do you have a menu book in the back? If you guys know, please let me know. I'm so confused. So Stellas Diner, going back to Stellas Diner, it's a run-of-the-mill diner place. Your classic like 70s, 60s diner with red seats, and it's, I'm gonna say it, it's mediocre. It's not that good. It's just regular diner food. You know exactly what you're gonna get. I don't like it, but it's famous. It's halfway decent. But that's coming from me who never really liked diner food or brunch. So it's a bad combination. So let me know if you guys like Stellas Diner, and give me shit if you guys like it, because personal opinion, I don't like it. But it's really famous in Syracuse, so I wanted to mention it since I'm talking about brunch in Syracuse. So one of my favorite places for brunch in Syracuse is Mother's Cupboard. So this place is like a hole in the wall brunch place, right? It doesn't even have a website. You have to go to like Yelp to see like their menu, and it's literally a tiny little shed in the middle of Syracuse, hole in the wall place, and usually it's packed. I think it only seats like 20 people, and usually it's packed, so you have to wait outside. And the bathroom is like downstairs in like a shed, so you have to go like walk downstairs, in a basement, and they have this thing called the frittata, which is like a bunch of vegetables, eggs, pepperoni, and they stir it up in butter. And I usually get the quarter frittata, and it doesn't seem like much, but it's a humongous plate. And they even have a challenge for their full frittata challenge, where you have to finish the whole thing, which is obviously 4 times the quarter frittata. And there's like pictures on the wall that people that finish the frittata, and it's pretty cool to see like this tiny little shed that makes really famous for their frittata, and you can see like the chef cooking in the back. Everything is open. You sit down, you order your food, they bring it out to you, and it's really close, so you're pretty much rubbing shoulders with everybody, and the food is amazing. They cook the frittata in butter, and it's a good experience, guys. It's like, I feel like it really represents Syracuse really well. That's my opinion of Syracuse. Mother's Cupboard. So if you want to experience Syracuse in one meal, I would say go to Mother's Cupboard and get the frittata. It's really good. You're not going to regret it. It's an experience. take the pictures in, take the waiter in, take the chef in. It's a good time. And these two places are like the old school places. So there's two. If I have to shout out to two, if I have to make a shout out to two newer brunch places, I would say Rise and Shine and Waterstreet Bagels. And Waterstreet Bagels is pretty much brand new. They started like maybe a month ago, and it's a bagel place. And it's a decent bagel place for sure. I think they make the bagel in house, and they have day old bagels. They sell the day old bagels right in the store, and you go in, you get a bagel sandwich, and the interior is really nice, and it feels like walking into that restaurant. It feels like you're going to a nice bagel spot in New York City. It's like really interior is really nice. People are really nice. I'm pretty sure they have kombucha on tap, so it's like really hip, really nice. Not expensive brunch spot if you guys want to grab a quick bagel sandwich. It's pretty good. Um, it's a pretty good spot. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. And talking about new brunch spots, Rise and Shine. I know it's not that new, but they're known for their innovative kitchen. They have the pancake burrito. They stuff it with like eggs and bacon and potatoes, all that. They have croissant toast. They have crazy milkshakes. And it kind of reminds me of Brownstone Diner in New Jersey. I'm not sure which one started first. I'm pretty sure Brownstone started first. But Rise and Shine is known for like innovative, kind of not ordinary run of the mill diner spot. So it's like the opposite of Stellas Diner. You can go to Rise and Shine for like really cool stuff. Uh, so definitely check it out if you guys are in the mood for like, I don't even know, like croissant toast sounded really good. Their milkshake sounded really good. So check out their menu. I'm gonna post their menu on there. But if you guys have ever been to Brownstone Diner, it's pretty much the same thing. It's really cool to have one of those in Syracuse, to have the option of going there. Um, but this is all coming from a dude who doesn't like brunch that much, so take it with a grain of salt. But I think these are pretty much the best places for brunch in Syracuse. So I think that about sums it up for this food spot, the brunch spots in Syracuse. There's obviously a lot more brunch spots in Syracuse because brunch is one of the biggest restaurant deals in Syracuse. But these are what I would recommend if you're in the area. If you like other spots, let me know. I have tried other brunch spots, but I thought these were noteworthy. So since I'm unemployed, guys, and I have a lot of time, I watch a lot of movies. And I watch a lot of shitty movies too. But the good ones that I've seen recently, one I really want to talk about is Mother with Jennifer Lawrence. I really didn't know the plot going into the movie. I had no idea what the fuck was happening. Little bit of spoiler, so if you guys want to watch the movie, don't listen to the next couple of minutes. But it's a fucking weird movie, I thought, until the ending, and then I started to figure, everything started to make sense by the end, and I'm not really like a good, smart movie watcher. I don't understand what's happening until the end, and I guess I would be the typical general audience who doesn't understand anything. But the whole theme is that Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Earth, and Javier, sorry, is God, and everything is happening where it's all a metaphor, and their house is a metaphor, and entire like their guests are a metaphor. There's biblical metaphors like Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve. There's metaphor about knowledge, all that stuff, and it's just I think it's masterfully done. It's just beautiful movie. it's confusing if you don't understand what's going on like I was. Like, I didn't understand why there were strangers coming into the house, they're killing each other, they're like killing her baby, all that stuff. But if you understand what's going on, it makes complete sense. And it's masterfully done. It's a beautiful movie, and definitely check it out if you guys want to see something. It's crazy. It's an odd movie that's gonna make you appreciate all the references, all the metaphors. And another one, Moonlight. It's about this gay kid in Florida, I believe, and it's just another spoiler here. Definitely, if you guys want to watch the movie, don't listen to the next couple of minutes. But it's about this gay kid in Florida, and he's a hustler. He's a trapper. He pretty much gets like adopted by the street hustler, and then becomes a street hustler himself. And it's a coming of age story, as cliche as it sounds, and it's really good. It's split into 3 parts where he's a child, and he's a teenager, and then he's a grown ass man, and it's just the progress is beautiful to see. And I've always been really interested in coming of age stories like Boyhood, if you guys have seen that. It's a great movie too. But Moonlight was a great movie if you guys want something to watch. And I love weird movies. I love non-traditional movies. So definitely check those movies out if you guys have time. Right now I'm watching something too. Maybe I can talk about it after. And it's pretty cool. Ralph Fiennes is in it, and he's like a butler. So I'll talk about it more after I'm done with that movie, and it's pretty good. Anyway, I watch a lot of movies too, guys, and I always welcome suggestions. So if you guys have any suggestions about cool movies to see, mostly I'm using Amazon Prime, but I can, air quotation mark stream stuff or rent stuff. Wink, wink. So let me know, guys, if you guys have any good movie suggestions. Because I spend a lot of time on this couch watching a lot of movies. So, all right, that about sums it up for my 4th podcast here. Comment and like the video, subscribe, guys. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions. If you guys want me to split the podcast. If you guys want me to do more fight talk. And I'll probably start talking about more about combat sports other than UFC, like BJJ, 1FC, Bellator. I just feel like there's so much news concerning UFC that there's so much to talk about right now. But on my next podcast, I'm going to be talking about 1FC. Hopefully I can talk about more food spots in Syracuse. I'm not going to do summaries anymore of the podcast. If you guys made it this far, you are obviously already listened to it, and I put up like a outline of the podcast in the description anyway. So thank you for listening, guys. Definitely check my Instagram out, check my stories out. I put up some good contest on my Instagram. Let me know if you guys like something, if you guys didn't like something. Let me know. Any feedback is welcome. So all right, that sums it up for my podcast. Thank you guys for listening. And I'm sorry my podcasts are getting longer and longer. I think this one's like 40 minutes. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. See you next time. Maybe tomorrow.